best thing for me to do is to just make videos and post it like immediately. Like I be having all these videos, but sometimes I be making videos and then I be rewatching my own videos, and then it be like, bro, I could have made a better video. So if I make a video, I'm probably just gonna post it. So let's say I make 2 videos a day, I'm gonna post both of them. But I just want to talk about the ego real quick, because that's just what was on my mind. Now, what you have to understand about the ego is that the ego is basically when you are separating yourself from the whole, the collective consciousness. Now, you got to understand, we are all genuinely, if you want to look at it in a bigger scope of things, we're all one. We're all one collective consciousness having an experience. We're all one. We're all God in a sense. Okay? Our minds is all connected, whether you want to believe it or not. Even beings with no life is still connected and attached to us. If you exist, you are connected to us by nature. You have to be. It's just how the world is. So basically, the ego is when you create an image of yourself. And the ego is not fake, okay? The ego is not fake. A lot of people say the ego is fake, but you have to understand the ego is very real. You know what I'm saying? Some people are stuck in their ego. They can't let go of themselves. They can't let go of their ego. They don't know how to. Some people, the ego is their natural instinct. And some people are able to let go and be a whole. So let's say, for an example, let's just say an egotistical person. What would an egotistical person be like? An egotistical person will be somebody that always bases their experience, their life views on other people. So for an example, let's say somebody do something differently than how you would do it. That would be a response. For an example, let's use me as an example. Let's say I'd done something previously in my life. Like I've been to school, you know what I'm saying? And let's say somebody else went to school and I judged them for how they acted or how they graded. Like I call him a lame ass nigga for getting A's and B's, for an example, because I personally believe school is bullshit. So I think if you an A student, you a slave to the system. You just a listener. You just a slave. All you do, you could just listen and take notes all day. And it's not a hard thing. It's nothing wrong with being a listener and being able to understand the assignment. It's nothing wrong with that. But just from my personal experience, I would consider you a lame for just sitting there and being able to do. Bro, even when I tried to do this shit, like real talk, even when I tried to learn in school, I just couldn't learn the bullshit. It wouldn't stay in my mind. I could not learn the bullshit. It was impossible for me. Now, what you have to understand is another thing about the ego is that, you know what I'm saying? It could fuck with you. Your ego could fuck with you because remember, like I said, the truth of everything is that we're all one. But once you create this image of yourself, and for some people it's hard to let go of this image. So let's say you got this image of yourself. Now pride is in a way. Now you might be a prideful person and you can't let certain shit go that, for an example, I could let go. You know what I'm saying? The art of being detached, the art of, just being one with nature and one with everyone around you. That person can't lose. A person that's one with everything around them can't lose. You know what I'm saying? Because the force is basically with you. You one with it. So how in the fuck can you lose? You just someone that's tranquil and you being the best version of yourself. You know what I'm saying? And that's not necessarily, I don't even know the word that I'm looking for, but that's not necessarily how the universe is not all black and white like that. That's what I meant to say. What the fuck? But the universe is not all black and white like that. Some people, they naturally are egotistical by nature because that's all they know. They don't know, like some people, like for an example, like me, I'm not an egotistical person. Like it's rare for you to catch me in my ego to I'm on some, oh, I'm better than you or I'm different from you. That's just not the type of person I am. You know what I'm saying? But it is moments and times where the ego is needed. Where, you know what I'm saying, you have to give a tough love response. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing the ego is really good at. When someone knows they self, the first step of knowing yourself is when you become yourself, your true self. And that means that you can either take the route of the angels or you could take the route of the ego. You know what I'm saying? People with hearts and caring and selfless, they tend to not have egos at all. You know what I'm saying? They operate off of pure impulse. Not pure impulse, but what's the word I'm looking for? But angels operate out of the heart space. You know what I'm saying? of instinct, basically, of just pure awareness, gut instincts, and intuition. You know what I'm saying? When you're dealing with the ego, you're more logical, and you're thinking about the mind, and the mind can play tricks on you. The heart, I ain't gonna lie, it's not like the heart can't play tricks with you. Like the heart can fail you. Like you can fall in love with something that's not right. You know what I'm saying? And that's why the heart is, as much as I want to say it's better than having an ego, going down a path of righteousness and, following your heart. The heart do have it has some flaws, just like the mind has some flaws, but it's less flaws. When you follow your heart, it's more true. It's more pure. I say it like that. When you follow your heart, it's more pure. When you following your mind and logic and what you are basing yourself, like what you basing your needs or you basing experience, like it's just not as, what's the word I'm looking for? Because I don't want to say it's not as, smart, or it's not the right way, because that's not necessarily what I'm thinking of. It's not, I don't even know the word I'm looking for, but it's not pure. I just say it's not pure. When you let ego and logic get in the way, you playing the devil's game at this point, because like I said, you could get caught up in pride, you can get caught up in so much shit. And just because you are this person, you believe that you are a certain way, you're the way you handle life you're gonna live a harder life. You're gonna live a harder life than you need to really live. And that's okay. Some people choose, the hard route. I feel like the ego is the hard route in life. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, when you have an ego, it's easier to have an ego, but it's harder to sustain ego. It's harder to sustain that ego. You know what I'm saying? Well, for someone like me, it would be harder to sustain my ego. But for you, it might be different. Like, for you, that might be your comfort place. That might be your happy place, being, egotistical. And egotistical don't mean, like, it's this stigma on the ego that is just so bad and it's so horrible. But in all reality, it's just how you view the world. It's just your experience, your life experience. It's how you feel towards things. It's you taking yourself out of the collective consciousness and becoming a version of yourself that is not as pure as, a genuine, lighthearted spirit, aka an angel. You know what I'm saying? And I'm being very literal when I say these things. Demons and angels exist, and it depends on your mindset. It's all about the right side of your brain or the left side of the brain. It really is just the truth. And it's about balance. It's about, sometimes the devil could take over. Sometimes, you stop, you take a different approach. You take a more holistic and pure approach to things. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I can tell you is that a pure person will, benefit and reap the benefits of a better life. You know what I'm saying? Someone that's not attached to things, you won't suffer. You're not gonna have to deal with pain. You know what I'm saying? You could deal with loss, but you're not gonna retaliate in a way to where you're angry. You need to go get revenge, or you're so caught up on the things that an egotistical person would get caught up in revenge. I say like that. A person in their ego might, and it's different egos, you know what I'm saying? But someone with an ego might take that shit. It's going to take that shit it's going to be way harder for them to just let that shit go than somebody that doesn't have an ego. It's going to be way harder for you to just accept that motherfucker just died. It's going to be way harder for you, especially because you attach. The ego is all about attaching oneself. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of, like, most demons in the world, that's all they have is the ego, because they lack that God. Demons lack God. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for them to be unattached. It's hard for them to be detached. It's hard for humans to be detached. It's hard for third dimensional beings to be detached, because they are so attached to the third dimensional reality and realm. Once you reach these higher realities and you start reaching these higher realms of beings, these different dimensions, these higher dimensions, the more in tune with God you become, the more in the moment you become. That's the only way you can raise your vibration and get to a certain level of dimension. If you want to know how to get to the fourth, fifth, sixth, these higher different dimensions, it's all about letting go, because that God, if you want to reach them, like I said, some people can't let go, and it's okay. You'll just be in a different dimension than someone that can let go. So that means, and you have to understand, God not gonna give power to somebody that's all arrogant and all egotistical and that does things out of raw emotion. Yeah, you can have some sort of power, but it'll never be to the extent of somebody that lets go, because the person that lets go is gonna get rewarded with power. Is gonna get rewarded with strength. Genuinely, it's gonna be protected divinely. The person that lets go and that's less attached, that means you're not someone that's gonna go out here and hurt people. So you will get rewarded more than somebody that will put their hands on somebody and that will, you know, be an aggressor, or, you know, someone that is egotistical and that's not so pure of heart. Because someone with an ego is just, you're gonna have an up and down life. I say it like that. You're gonna have moments where you're super high, and I'm telling you from experience, the ego, you can't experience highs that are fucking addictive. Like, the ego is something that don't want to let go, especially when you feel good, when you at the top, when you just feel very good. But let's say all that shit, that very high feeling that you get from feeling good can easily go all the way down and you feel horrible as shit. When you someone that dropped the ego, you're not gonna experience that. You're not gonna experience that feeling of that high and then that extreme low. Like, let's say someone that smoke weed, you know, you're super high, or you do crack or cocaine, you have that super high, you feel super good, and then the next day you wake up, you're fucking depressed, you need that next hit, you need something. That's what the ego is about. The ego is about attachments and learning how to live in a sense to where you're not in the moment. You're not in just the present moment. You're someone dealing with different emotions, and you're dealing with different situations. You're handling situations differently. You know what I'm saying? And that's a weird thing. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's a weird thing. Some people are stuck in their emotions, and some people are stuck in that way of thinking. It's nothing wrong with it, but I just will tell you, you will not be rewarded. You know, you won't be rewarded as much as somebody that is unattached. I could just tell you that right now. And it all deals with emotions. The ego is raw passion. The ego is like passion. You know what I'm saying? Dropping your ego is like you're just pure awareness. That's becoming an angel when you drop the ego and you just become somebody that is selfless in nature. And when you drop the ego, you will be happy all the time. You would just be in the moment, and the moment equals just tranquility. It's not even happiness, because happiness is an emotion. So you'll just be in a tranquil empathy state, a state of empathy. Ego is like straying away from empathy, and that's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Some people, they don't know how to be empathetic. Some people are just not empathetic. Some people are not, they're not empathetic. They don't have empathy. They lack empathy. They are more they might have they are sympathetic creatures. They're not empathetic. Empathetic means you feel exactly what that other person feels. Sympathy is more like, damn, I feel bad for you, but I currently feel good. Like, damn, I feel bad for your situation. Empathy is like, what the fuck? You feel off because that nigga feel off. You know? So yeah, that's basically it for the video. You know what I'm saying? It was just a random thought that I had. Like, it's so weird how the ego and the ego work, and it's weird. You know what I'm saying? Just really thinking about it. The person with an ego, man. If you have an ego, don't change. Don't change just because of this video. You don't have to change because of this video. You could be a person in your ego, attached person. You know what I'm saying? But you will be dealing with situations differently than other people. Like someone like me, I won't be so frustrated if something bad happened in my life, because I understand it's just a challenge. So it'll be easier for me to let go of things that really don't matter. You know what I'm saying? In all actuality, the ego is about making things that don't matter. And dropping your ego is realizing that you should just live in the present moment and deal with the now. You know, not let these emotions carry you up and be stuck on trauma. Or stuck on, because remember, I'm talking about the ego like it's all bad, but it has its ups and downs. But that's what the ego is all about, is having its ups and downs. You know what I'm saying? I'm just somebody that would rather be tranquil. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather just be tranquil, just happy. Because I associate happiness with just being tranquil. That's just my opinions. That's just how I feel. That some happy for other people may be, you know, something different. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, y'all, I'm finna head out. I don't know. I really like. I'm tired of Earth. I can tell you that. I am very tired of living on Earth. I'm very tired of living here. I'm very tired of being here. But hey, it is what it is, man. I can't tell if that's a cat or a dog. Is this motherfucker walking a cat? But yeah, y'all. Just take care of yourself, man. Don't let the ego, you know, bring you down. Just sometimes you gotta let things go. That's the only thing I can tell you. If you someone that's in a tranquil state, you don't really need nothing. I mean, what the fuck? You can when you tranquil, you fucking tranquil. You don't need no help. You don't need because you already detached. You already in a form of you already somebody that's in a higher league of power. When you unattached, you basically like them fucking Buddhas and them monks and shit. That's basically what you on. Like you basically just in a state of pure bliss. You're in a state of pure bliss, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? You basically in a state of what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say in a state of godhood, but you basically in a state of just a state of fucking happiness. I mean, that's the best way I can fucking describe this shit. Just a state of just it's a specific word that I'm looking for that I cannot fucking get. I cannot find the word. It's not bliss either. It's like a man. Damn, this is eating me up right now. I can't believe I can't find the word that I'm looking for. I guess joy. It wouldn't be joy. A state of it's not joy. That is a state of that is a divine state of being joy. But it's one that's higher than joy. I can't think of the word. I can't think. I'm gonna edit the words in. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna edit it in. But I love y'all, man. Take care of yourself. I'm out.